5 ways the Buffalo Bills messed up versus the Vikings. Firstly, we were outcoached. The overall strategizing and game planning this week with Josh Allen, without him practicing all week, that really wasn't the mistake. It was the lack of adjusting in the game plan with Josh Allen being out there. Ken Dorsey and the Buffalo Bills really did no adjusting to the game plan when Josh Allen was out there. And I think we kind of catered this whole week to Case Keenum being out there. I know Josh Allen, the best quarterback in the NFL. You are not going to put him on the bench, especially if he is good to go. But what I'm saying is the coaches should have adjusted their strategizing, their game planning. With Josh Allen not practicing all week long and him starting, I think ultimately it forced the Buffalo Bills into more of a basic game plan going against the Vikings. And later in the game, when the Buffalo Bills and this offense were forced to make plays, we just didn't have enough there from a game plan standpoint. The next way we were outcoached was not having a game plan in place for when the Vikings announced pre-game that defensive tackle 300-pound Delvin Tomlinson was going to be out after practicing on a limited basis all week. We should have anticipated that Delvin Tomlinson could have very well been out this game, which he was, and we should have exploited James Lynch, the backup. Harrison Phillips was the heaviest weighing defensive tackle out there in that field at 307. What I find odd is that McDermott, after the game, even spoke highly of the Vikings' short run game defense, saying that they were the best in the short yardage situations defensively this year, but they were missing 325-pound Delvin Tomlinson. We should have exploited that. And the next coach to screw up was Ken Dorsey, calling that quarterback sneak backed up on the goal line, which resulted in a fumble touchdown and the Vikings winning the game. Yes, Josh Allen shouldn't have fumbled the ball, but Ken Dorsey and this Buffalo Bills offense should have realized who was out there with Harrison Phillips going against Josh Allen in practice for several years. He knows Josh Allen's cadence. He knows his snap counts and all his quarterback sneaks. He shifted right before the ball was snapped, right above Mitch Morris, and I think it caught him off guard, and that's why the ball was fumbled. The second reason why the Buffalo Bills messed up in this game and resulted in a loss to the Vikings is because we stopped running the football in the second half with Devin Singletary. At one point during that first half of football, Devin Singletary was beating Dalvin Cook in total rushing yards. Devin Singletary was completely balling out. He had 2 rushing touchdowns before half. His yards per carry were tremendous. He was thrashing the Minnesota Vikings defense apart. And then for whatever reason in the second half, Ken Dorsey and this Buffalo Bills team got away from running the ball and just handing it off. We forego a 17-point lead and the Buffalo Bills lose to the Vikings. Josh Allen not practicing all week was just a little bit off. He was definitely not himself out there, and the Buffalo Bills continued to pass it late in the game, and we should have been running it. Third reason the Buffalo Bills screwed up in this game were turnovers, penalties, and just overall missed opportunity. Josh Allen's interception in overtime and also the fumble backed up in the end zone, which gave him the go-ahead touchdown, and then ultimately the win. The Buffalo Bills had 7 penalties on the day. Mitch Morris false start, the Jordan Phillips offside call, Christian Benford getting 2 flags on the day, one of which was his unnecessary roughness on Adam Thielen, pushing him out of bounds, and then the defensive pass interference, which gave up 19 yards to the Vikings. Spencer Brown was called for holding twice, wiping out gains by running back Devin Singletary and quarterback Josh Allen. Singletary carry was 9 yards on 1st and 10, and then on Allen's 3rd and 5, he ran for 7, picking up the first down, which was called back. And the missed opportunities were still present in this game, and the most notable to me was the Buffalo Bills defense blitzing the Vikings and not getting to Kirk Cousins. When you blitz Kirk Cousins or any quarterback, you're anticipating that pass rush to get to the quarterback within a certain amount of time. Too many times, Dane Jackson and Christian Benford were left on an island way too long. We were forcing them to cover their wide receivers for way too long in that game. When we blitz, we better get to the quarterback. Like, we got to come up with better blitz packages. The fourth reason the Buffalo Bills messed up in this game was not continuing to find our second receiving option to Stefon Diggs. During the first half, the Buffalo Bills were definitely well balanced, throwing the ball to Diggs and Gabe Davis. Davis was clearly that second option for the Bills. As the game went along, we kind of started just force-feeding Stefon Diggs again. Josh Allen getting a little comfortable with Diggs. We got to be a little bit more balanced all throughout the game. I liked what we did in the first half, feeding Diggs and Gabe Davis, but we got to keep that going all throughout the game. And I know Nyheim Hines just got here, but he could be a true threat, receiving threat for the Buffalo Bills. If they do start locking up Diggs and Davis, we should have Nyheim Hines there to be that receiving threat. And the fifth reason the Bills screwed up in this game was really because of injuries, and you would assume that's no fault of their own, but the Buffalo Bills put Cam Lewis in at safety, starting at safety, the first time he's ever started an NFL game at safety, going against Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. Quan Johnson has been here for several seasons. He's flashed some greatness at times this year, and at other times he's had some mishaps, but I really don't know why we started Cam Lewis going against the Vikings and Justin Jefferson, this high potent passing offense. You think we would kind of roll with Jaquan Johnson, hoping that he would crank out those mistakes, get those memorable moments on the football field. Really the only thing he lacks is those experience, having experience on the field. And remember, Jordan Poyer was out, Trey White isn't out, Greg Rousseau is out, and obviously Micah Hyde is not out there, Tremaine Edmonds going down during the game, Kaiir Elam wasn't out there too. Buffalo Bills clearly screwed up in this game, and if you agree, hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section if I forgot any other ways that the Buffalo Bills screwed up. But the final point I want to make here is that they are all coachable. These are all coachable deficiencies across this team, and you know the Buffalo Bills have some of the best coaches in the NFL with McDermott, Frazier, Ken Dorsey. This team is destined for greatness this year. We're going to learn and overcome these moments, and for whatever reason, the stars haven't been aligned for the Buffalo Bills. Not everything has been aligned, and I like it. Maybe the Buffalo Bills and those stars align at the right moment during that playoff run, for that Super Bowl run. Keep your heads up high, Bills Mafia. I will check you guys soon. Go Bills. Peace.